I'm Ray Latif. I'm the managing editor of BevNet. And continuing upon our special focus on e-commerce retailing, Kerrie Lopez, who's the category lead for Jet.com's fresh food division, is going to present on Jet's efforts to win in the fast-growing business of online fresh grocery shopping. Kerrie will discuss the ways in which Jet, which was acquired by Walmart last year, is partnering with brands to enhance their online retail presence, including ways to optimize content, and the company's guiding framework in pursuit of creating maximum value for its customers. Kerrie, come on up.
So as Ray mentioned, I'm a category lead at Jet.com working on the fresh business. So I oversee dairy and beverage specifically, as well as some cross-category initiatives. And I'm excited to talk to you all today a little bit more about the Jet business model, our customer, and then some early trends we're starting to see in beverage specifically. So Jet is reimagining e-commerce as the most brilliant way to shop. So what I mean by that is we are empowering customers to shop smarter through our business model. It's no surprise to anyone in this room, hopefully, that e-commerce is here to stay and that it's going to become, if it isn't already, a huge part of your business. So by 2025, Nielsen and FMI have projected that the food and beverage industry will move heavily online. So about 20% of food and beverage sales will begin to come through e-commerce. And 70% of customers will actually interact with e-commerce in some way as it relates to food and beverage. So whether that's researching their products, doing part of their grocery purchasing, or doing their entire order. So that's huge, right? That's a massive opportunity for everyone in this room to really hop on board. And Jet is bringing necessary innovation to e-commerce. So we saw back in the 60s and 70s when Walmart started, and then again in the 80s when Costco came on the scene, that there was huge disruption to just traditional brick and mortar retail, making things a little bit more about the customer than had been traditionally, and cleaning some stuff up in the supply chain to really pass savings back to the customer. Then Amazon in the 90s, 1994 I think, came on the scene, and that was e-commerce 1.0. It's kind of crazy that we still think of Amazon as like the only player in some ways, because that was 2 decades ago. So Mark Laurie, our CEO, 2.5 years ago founded Jet. And the idea with Jet was to reinvent e-commerce and to really bring necessary disruption into e-commerce. So Jet's a next generation e-commerce platform. We're a marketplace, so we sell everything from furniture to sunglasses to diapers, and then specifically grocery is a huge part of our strategy and consumables in general. So again, Jet launched in 2015, so we're almost 2 years old. We'll turn 2 next month, actually. And what we're all about is smart cart savings. How many people in this room have tried shopping on Jet, just by a show of hands? Okay, not as good as I would have liked to see, but it's okay. You guys can shop later. We basically, as the people in the room who have shopped on Jet know, we're all about smart cart savings. So what we're doing is we're basically getting people away from the idea of just purchasing one item and then getting it shipped to their house as fast as possible, so sort of that like Amazon Prime mentality, and more into building bigger baskets. That's obviously more efficient for us and for our vendors to ship to customers, shipping more in one box and shipping from more strategic distribution points. So we then pass along some of those savings to our customer. We also offer things like paying with a debit card instead of a credit card, opting out of a free return if you're ordering something like Crest toothpaste. We don't want to bake that into the cost of your order. So basically, we're making things more transparent and more efficient for the customer and for our brands. So we moved really, really quickly to become one of the fastest growing e-commerce platforms ever. We were adding 400,000 customers a month. We hit the $1 billion sales mark in our first year, actually a few months before we turned 1, which was really exciting. And we continue to see double-digit repeat rates, and we're seeing customers really catch on to this idea of building big baskets. We have over 2,000 integrated retail partners and millions of product products across the site. So again, anyone who hasn't shopped us, I encourage you to shop us. But we're doing a lot to really change e-commerce behavior. And is that a thumbs up? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to play a quick video. We had a quick 5-minute moment this morning where we realized it wouldn't play through YouTube, so it's going to play. But this is just a couple of kids explaining to you, if I haven't explained well enough, what Jet.com does for our customer.
Jet saves you money! The more you buy, the less you pay.
The more stuff you put into your cart, the more discounts and more savings you can get.
Savings make me feel happy. Jet can help you save more money.
So saving money, making shopping more transparent, making it more efficient, and making it more fun. And then if you guys were reading the news last fall, you saw that Walmart acquired Jet. That was about 2 months after I started, so that was super exciting news. And we've really come together to make a better shopping experience even faster than we could before. So the acquisition really brought new capabilities to both partners. So on the Jet side, it brought that incredible sort of scale and the category expertise that Walmart obviously has. It's the biggest retailer in the world. For Walmart, we really kind of jolted them with an entrepreneurial spirit. So we are now moving things faster, moving things quicker, and making things really all about the customer. And the expanded distribution footprint has been really excited, the expanded customer. So we are continuing to be two distinct brands, Jet.com and Walmart.com, speaking to distinct customer groups. So Jet, from the beginning, had really attracted a younger, more urban, a little bit more affluent customer, and Walmart obviously is so just well known in the nation that we're kind of continuing on the tracks that we had been on already, but using and leaning on each other when we need it most. And we've started to see the results in Q1 of this year. So we reported 63% kind of overall Walmart US e-commerce growth, so that includes Jet, which is super, super exciting, and customers are seeing the results too with the time and money that they're saving. So as I mentioned, I work on the fresh business specifically. That business is a large part of our strategy and is really fueling a lot of our growth. So we are now in nearly half of the country, which is really exciting. Probably not that many of you realize that in this room because we haven't kind of like PR'd it or anything, but we're delivering to almost 25 states, basically everything east of the Mississippi. And all of that is coming out of our New Jersey warehouse in Burlington, New Jersey. It's shipped via FedEx, 1 to 2 day ground delivery. So basically what customers receive is a fully insulated box, fully cold product. We can actually chamber the box so that they can get ambient products like bananas, refrigerated product, and frozen product all in the same package. And unlike some of our other sort of online grocery competitors, you don't have to schedule delivery, which for our customer has been really exciting. For me, I never know when I'm going to be home, so having a package that can stay cold on my doorstep is a really kind of new and exciting thing for a lot of our customers. We're also piloting with a company called Doorman in the city so that the customers that do want to schedule a delivery can, so kind of tailoring to different customer needs. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about the elusive pursuit of maximum value. So what I mean by that is kind of breaking down value to be above and beyond just price. We were definitely founded on the fact that you would save and that you would get really low prices on Jet.com. But we also understand that value means so much more to our customer. So value can mean saving money, but it can also mean saving time and having an amazing experience along the way. So I know I've had situations where I go and try to buy like a super cheap product online, and maybe the experience wasn't great. It takes half an hour to check out, or it takes 3 weeks to get my package. So that means that price isn't everything, right? So we're trying to kind of understand what price means to our customer and what all these different concepts mean to our customer, and so that's why we've really landed on value as something that's bigger than just price. And at Jet, we spend a lot of time in data. So the great thing about e-commerce is obviously that you have so much data at your fingertips. So above and beyond just the interaction data that we're getting through our site, we're also surveying our customers every single week on their Net Promoter Score, so whether or not they would recommend us to a friend, why or why not they would recommend us to a friend. Every day we're doing lab testing where we actually bring customers into our lab and do some eye tracking tests and just interviews with them to understand how they're shopping on the site, what could be better, what we're already doing well. And our research manager, it's actually really cool. She live chats us, the whole office, what's going on, and she'll tag us if something as small as the price on a product looks incorrect, or as big as the checkout experience isn't as good as it could be. So constantly listening to our customer to really make sure we're fitting into their lives across every single platform, and that we're really curating a delightful experience for them where they can save money, time, and have that delightful experience. So if any of you are vendors with us today, which I believe a lot of you actually are, which is great, you've probably started to hear us talk a little bit about the Customer Value Index and the 5 ITs. So if you've taken a marketing class, this is kind of similar to the 4 or 5 Ps, whatever it is, but very specific to online. So these are have it, find it, display it, price it, and deliver it. Have it really being fully about assortment, right? Like having the stuff that your customer is coming on the site to find, or that they might just be Googling and then landing on Jet and finding there. It also includes making sure things are in stock, which is a huge, huge kind of charge of ours. Find it is making sure those products are then very discoverable, that the browse experience when you're navigating different pages, the search experience, the marketing experience is all lined up to make sure customers have a seamless time finding the products they're looking for. Display it is all about the product page, so that's a huge part of where vendors come into play, and marketers is making sure those product pages look incredible for when customers are researching and purchasing your product. Price it, pretty obvious, and then deliver it, which is fulfilling the product in a way that makes sense for our customer. So that could be delivering it fast, so 1 to 2 days, or in other categories, actually, we've allowed customers to slow down their shipment so that they can save even more money. So not every customer wants their TV tomorrow. If they can wait a couple of weeks for it, we'll give them the savings back that we would see from that shipping. So if you remember one thing from today, just in the near term, what I would definitely recommend is focusing on content. Online is such a new beast for brands and for customers, and it allows for such a deep connection to be built that you have space for not just one image, but 10 images on a website. You can go above and beyond just a title and a sentence description and have a paragraph and the different attributes of the products bulleted out. We also have recipe guides on our site, so vendors like Chobani and Organic Valley are really leaning into things like that, where they can actually create more of an experience for a customer. We were talking recently at Jet about how delivering products to a customer outside of a store is not a new phenomenon. Catalogs have been around for years. So what really makes e-commerce different is the merchandising aspect, and that lens of kind of giving customer more than what they can see on a shelf and more than what they can see on a catalog, and bringing the brands to life for them. And then another big focus of ours is having that long-tail specialty assortment online. So like I mentioned earlier, we have a very distinct customer, both Walmart.com and Jet.com, so you'll see a lot of sort of the fundamental products overlap. We want to have everything for a customer that they might find in a conventional grocery store, but then also have sort of that delightful experience of being able to find a really fine artisanal cheese, or the newest kombucha, or a very specific flavor of juice that they might not be able to find in their grocery store. Like I mentioned earlier, we're in both urban areas as well as suburban and rural. So for the first time, we're giving people, in rural Wisconsin, this online ability to get food delivered to their homes. And they no longer have just their, local grocery store or gas station to rely on for food, but now they have this sort of vast assortment of 6,500 SKUs right now to choose from, just within fresh grocery. Within grocery, it's actually I think upwards of 40,000, which is super exciting. So with e-commerce, we have what people call the endless aisle, or the digital shelf. We're not constrained by space. We're not constrained by store resets, so we can be super flexible and really test and learn a lot of fun stuff. So having that category depth and having those products that hit on all of the different attributes our customers are looking for is super important, and winning every shopping occasion. So just to give you guys sort of a peek at what I've seen really index well on our site and then on some other sites online is these types of startups and these types of trends. So what's interesting about e-commerce is there's this totally level playing field, right? Like no longer is it just the big guys that can win because they have the dollars to spend on the shelf. And customers online are searching out these types of products that are a little bit more niche or they're just trying to start exploring. I think Bill did a really good job talking a little bit about the trends yesterday, so I won't spend too much time on this, but some of the trends within these products are things like personal health, plant proteins, functional beverages, clean ingredients, and two I'll just focus on really quick in sort of conclusion are plant protein and then sustainable packaging. So almond milks are actually pacing incredibly well on Jet.com, as well as just overall plant-based beverages. There's this really massive disruption in traditional protein right now that's super exciting for us, both within beverage and across other things like, other dairy, other meat, things like that. There's very clear environmental and personal benefits for customers, so I think that's a huge reason why customers are sort of gravitating towards almond milks. Also some like dietary restriction reasons, but I think that between sort of the growth we're seeing in almond milk and the heavy investment, the sky's the limit with e-commerce and with Jet.com. One opportunity I wanted to call out is kid-friendly almond milk specifically. So we're really targeting millennial moms as kind of our #1 customer. And I was talking to a few of my sisters who are younger mothers, and they mentioned that they drink almond milk all the time, they give it to their kids in their cereal, but they're still giving their kids whole milk because they're not really sure like what the trade-off in health benefits is. So just something to think about if you are sort of a plant-based beverage company or someone that wants to try something new is positioning almond milk specifically towards children. I think that would be really cool and do really well on Jet.com. And then e-commerce friendly packaging, huge opportunity. No one's doing it well right now. There's a couple of examples in other consumable categories like laundry detergent, but a couple things that weren't specifically created for e-commerce but are doing well in terms of shipping in the box are these bag-in-box formats. So Wandering Bear and Chameleon both have these kind of larger format cold brews that do really, really well when we ship them to customers. When you think about like glass bottles or really heavy beverage like milk containers, they can leak all over the place and break, and we do everything we can to prevent that. But as vendors, I would really start thinking about like how am I going to, in the next 10 years when 1/5 of my product is being sold online, how am I going to optimize that experience specifically to be shipped in a box when FedEx is like chucking the box at the doorstep. And then another like fun one, just because snacking is becoming such a huge trend, a lot of people in the office were like, what's better than a bottle? Like how can we make that better when I'm carrying around my laptop, my shoes, like all my crap in my bag? Is a bottle like the end-all be-all answer? So I'll leave you guys with that, I guess, sort of in conclusion. Just listen to the customer, listen to what's happening in all of the different trends. Innovate and don't be afraid, especially with a partner like Jet.com, to try something new, and then keep adapting. And that's it.
Well done. Let's have a seat on the couch. We have time for one, perhaps two questions.
Perfect.
So lots of people shop this way these days, right?
Yes.
So how is Jet optimizing its mobile presence, and what percentage of your business do you expect to come from mobile going forward?
Yeah, so today I believe about 2/3 of our traffic is coming from mobile, so that's huge. It's the vast majority of our traffic, and that's between mobile web and the app. Yep. So in terms of shopping, actually customers are still tending to check out on desktop, which is really interesting. When they use the app, the engagement and the sales are incredible, so we're trying to get more and more people into the app to shop, doing things like deep linking and maybe offering sort of like special discounts and whatnot in the app. But mobile web, we're seeing they're using more for research and sort of as like a side vehicle when they're shopping on the site.
Interesting stuff. So, you talked about how Jet was acquired by Walmart. Walmart also has its own e-commerce platform called Walmart.com, and Jet's one component of the entire platform. So how does Jet cultivate its products differently than that of Walmart.com, and how does the company address brand requests for placement on both sites?
So in terms of how we're cultivating the merchandise, there's going to be some overlap. So like the mom who's in New York City is looking for very similar sort of like savings and time savings as the mom who might be sitting out in like Iowa.
Yep.
So you want to have that like base product be similar and speak to both of them. On Jet, you're going to start to see a distinct assortment that kind of leans a little bit more into the niche products and up-and-coming products. For Walmart, a lot of the business is click and collect, so they're mirroring what's in Walmart stores. So we at Jet have the ability to kind of add things a little bit faster and test what's working. On the vendor end of things, we would love to have vendors across both platforms, so I think it's just having those conversations and understanding what makes sense for the vendor. In some cases, they might not want to be on both platforms, and that's fine too. So as we're both trying to just get parity of assortment, just kind of understanding the goals of both parties and that the customer is going to act a little bit differently.
Great. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you're going to see Kerrie back up on stage as one of the judges for the finals of the New Beverage Showdown. It starts at 10:40. Kerrie, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.